Hi, I'm Nick Kosevich.
I'm Ira Koplowitz, and we own a company called Bittercube. We are here to demonstrate a couple of cocktails that involve sparkling wine, and let's get started.
First thing we're going to do is just show you quickly how to properly open up a bottle of sparkling wine. There's lots of wrong ways to do it, maybe not as many correct ways. First thing that we want to do is take the top foil off. Should be the easiest part. Then you've got a cage around the cork. Once you take the cage off, you want to make sure that you have your thumb on the cork at all times.
Does have the ability to explode a little, so that's why you do that. You never want to hold a bottle and kind of move it around.
One thing that's really interesting about sparkling wine, different than most bottles, is that you're actually going to move the wine bottle and keep the cork in one place and just slowly rotate that. And as you do that, the cork will slowly let itself out. And you really don't want to make any noise. You don't want to let any of the bubbles out of the wine. And so the less amount of air that you let out when you open up the bottle, the more bubbles are going to be inside the glass.
It's just fun on New Year's to just rip it out, shooting some bubbles out, but you are going to lose some of what you covet in there, which is the bubbles themselves.
And the next time we'll have Ira show you how to saber a bottle as well,
yes,
which is
with a sword. So there's that. This is a cava. It's a dry sparkling wine from Spain. A lot of the really great grapes grow in Spain for champagne-style wine. So they call it cava there, and you can get a lot of different inexpensive dry sparkling wines there. So
we're going to use this specific brand for the cocktails that we're going to make today. One thing that we think about when we do cocktails is obviously something that's inexpensive, that's not going to break the bank. You don't want to add $100, sparkling wine to cocktails, although it would be delicious. So we're going to use the Cristalino Cava today, and let's get started. The first drink we're going to do is called the Captain Truman. It's a riff on a French 75. So we're going to actually riff on it again by adding the pumpkin spirit from Great Lakes Distillery instead of brandy, which is what we traditionally use.
Yeah, so these recipes I think you're going to be able to find online. They're going to be a little different. One thing that we like to tell people is to tweak the recipes, use things you have at home, just follow the formulas though.
So we're doing 1 ounce of the pumpkin spirit, which is going to be gone soon. So if you have a chance to make it down to the Great Lakes Distillery, do stop by and pick up a bottle because they only make so many bottles a year. We're going to use 3/4 ounce of fresh squeezed lemon juice. If you have limes lying around, you could use that as well. It's just going to change the flavor profile. Just make sure that you're using 3/4 of an ounce. And then we're going to use a ginger syrup that we make at Bittercube as well. If you want to figure out how to make a ginger syrup at home, you certainly could. Otherwise, there are ginger liqueurs that you could use at home. Domaine de Canton being one. Koval out of Chicago makes a ginger liqueur as well, which is pretty mild. It's going to change the flavor a little bit, but it is a high-quality product.
This is going to get lightly shaken. Generally, when you are using champagne or sparkling wine, you are going to shake lightly because you're going to be topping it with extra water.
One thing that you can do as well when you're making cocktails for any season or just for having friends over, tasting the drink before you serve it always is going to ensure that you've added the proper amount of citrus and acidity to your beverage. We're using a double straining method here. What that does is hold some of the ice that's been broken up during the shaking process. It's going to make it so that the cocktail doesn't thin out too much.
And the cava goes right on top. And we'll do so we just do a little lemon.
So there's a few different ways that we could garnish this cocktail. One would be to take a channel knife and get a really nice lemon peel, or twist, I'm sorry. But today we're just going to take a lemon peel, just take a Y peeler, a potato peeler at home, peel the skin off of a lemon or an orange, do a little bit of oil extraction on top, garnish it with that. We're also going to add a few bitter drops as well. Bitters go great with champagne, they go great with sparkling cocktails. And so we're going to use the Bittercube Bolivar. I'm going to put 7 drops on top, and this will be used as an aromatic garnish. So here we have the Captain Truman.
Would you like to do the honors for the second one, sir?
Okay. The next cocktail that we're going to make is called the Foothills, if you want to talk a little bit about it.
The Foothills is another citrus-based cocktail. We start with a Rayhorst gin, and we add to that fresh lemon juice as well. We're also going to use a French elderflower liqueur that comes from the foothills of the Alps. Really nice floral notes that go really well with champagne.
Half ounce?
Half ounce. Or 3/4. I would say 3/4.
3/4?
Yeah, why not?
Okay.
And this one gets a little simple syrup as well, just to balance out the acidity and the elderflower liqueur.
Very easy to make at home. 1 cup of granulated sugar, 1 cup of water, stirred with a whisk. You really don't need any heat to bring the sugar and water together.
One interesting thing about this cocktail is we take some citrus peels and then we slice them into very small strips. We're actually going to add that in when we shake it lightly to get some of that oil and pith into the cocktail.
So that same way that we peeled the lemon for the garnish on the Captain Truman, take those peels, cut them into even strips, add 3 or 4 of a lemon, lime, orange, whatever you have around the house is going to make a really nice garnish. Again, we're going to do a light shake because we're going to top it with sparkling wine. And then adding those strips of citrus in there and then shaking it with the ice is actually bringing out some of the oils from the fruit as well and going to add another dimension of flavor to the cocktail. So then what we're going to do after we've taken just the ice that we shook the cocktail with, stir it in the shaker a little bit, and then roll it into the glass so that you get the citrus garnish into play. Just going to add a little bit of sparkling on top.
One thing to think about when you're doing these cocktails is to, especially the second one, is to stir down the cava a little bit so that the bubbles kind of go throughout the cocktail and not just right on the top.
And there we are, the Foothills.
Maybe we should have a sip.
I think so.
All right. Cheers, sir.
Happy holidays.
Cheers to you.
Cheers.